So supposedly, we don't have any confirmation on this. Sony may be doing their state of play this week. Rumors have said it will be the week of Valentine's Day, which is in, for me, another 3 days, which I guess is 4 days if you are on the other side of the international date line. But it should be coming soon. They are traditionally held in January or February, and it is February, and we did not get one in January, so it's probably a fairly safe bet. We have no idea what kind of games they're going to be talking about. Usually in these things, they do not talk about hardware, so do not be expecting anything on the rumored PlayStation or PSP 2 or PS Vita 2 or anything like that. There are rumors of that floating around. I would not put too much merit into those myself, but we're probably not going to hear that. But there are a few games that did show up last time that we haven't really heard too much of since, so we might be getting a little bit more on some of those. Some of the games that fall into that category would be Hell Is Us, Ballad of Antara, Where Winds Meet, then The Midnight Walk. We also know that Bungie is working on Marathon, and we haven't heard anything from them in a very long time. So we might be getting something on Marathon and Fair Games as well. Fair Games is not being done by Bungie. Also, Phantom Blade Zero is coming out, I think, relatively soon. So, well, no, never mind. Phantom Blade Zero comes out next year, 2026. So, but we might be getting more of that. And the other two that people really want to hear about are Marvel's Wolverine, which we obviously haven't heard about a lot in a long, long time, and Intergalactic: The Heretic Prophet, which is the new Naughty Dog game, which we got that teaser trailer for. But it was all cinematic, and we have zero idea of what kind of game it's going to be. So we might be getting something on that. Obviously, other games that we might be seeing something on are Death Stranding 2, On the Beach, and Ghost of 𝙂𝙧, which are coming out this year and are huge. So those are the ones that people are really going to be probably looking out for, along with a few others, Sword of the Sea, Wonder Stop, and a few others out there. So these are games that we were likely to see, or at least a lot of people want to see. So do expect something on at least some of those titles, if not all of them. Personally, I was looking through, like, what are some games that if I could have my dream lineup for State of Play? I know Korean always loves to get into speculation and all that, and I'm not a big fan of it. But I knew that he would like to hear, Adam, if you could choose any games to hear about in State of Play, what would they be? And obviously new IPs. I would love to get some new IPs, which you can't predict because they're new, right? But IPs that we know may or may not exist, or IPs that we know exist, but may or may not be, having something going forward. Looking at those, I do have a few that I would like to see. Horizon multiplayer game. Obviously, they were working on, some people were calling it an MMO, other people were calling it kind of a multiplayer game similar to maybe Helldivers or something like that. We do know that Sony recently went through and they were like, yeah, all these live service games, that's out the door. We're not doing that anymore. That didn't work out so well. That was the old guard and they're gone now. However, the Horizon game actually was not on the list of canceled live games, so that one might still be up. So I would love to see something on that, especially given, what was that, something of Miriam or Miritum? The other one, the Horizon at Home game that we talked about a few weeks and weeks back. It seems very recent to me because it was only a few episodes ago for me. But I've been gone for weeks and weeks and weeks, so it's still fresh in my mind. But I would love to hear about the Horizon multiplayer game. And speaking of Guerrilla, I would love to hear about a new Killzone, but I am not holding my breath on that. I don't think we're going to be getting a new Killzone anytime soon, but I would love to hear about a new Killzone. And while we're on it, Resistance. I never actually played any of the Resistance games. I did play, I think there was a demo for one of them once. I played that. But I know a lot of people would love to see Resistance come back. Also, Fumito Ueda. I'm probably pronouncing that incorrectly. If you don't know who he is, he's the guy behind Ico, Shadow of the Colossus, The Last Guardian. Oh, yeah. Okami 2 being announced. Yeah, I would love to see more Okami 2. But yeah, Fumito Ueda, his Project Robot. So he has a new game. Obviously, Team Ico was disbanded, but we saw a little teaser for his new game called Project Robot, which just looked like a little dude running around and climbing on what looked like a Colossus's head and then flying off. I have no idea what's going on there. Nobody has any idea what's going on there, but we would love to see more. I can guarantee you that. Like Noble Cooper mentioned, Okami 2. He would also like God Hand 2. I didn't play the original God Hand, so I don't know too much about that one. But hey, you know what? If other people want it, I want it for you. Other games, Pragmata, that game was mentioned like a long time ago, and it keeps getting delayed. And every now and then it pops up. Hey, look, this thing still exists. So maybe getting some more definitive information on that. I think it was the last state of play where they kind of did a little clip of that, or something else. And speaking of games that seem like they've kind of disappeared but haven't 100%, Little Devil Inside, I'm still holding out hope for that. That was supposed to be a PS5 launch game, and then it was like, oh no, it doesn't exist. And then they came back, what was it, like last year, and they're like, oh no, it does still exist. So I would love to see that. Also, on a personal note, I would love to see Soul Sacrifice remastered coming out. In my personal opinion, the trifecta of PlayStation Vita games were Gravity Rush, Freedom Wars, and Soul Sacrifice. Gravity Rush got a remaster, and then it got a sequel. Freedom Wars recently got a remaster, so I would love to see a sequel announced for that as well. And then Soul Sacrifice, for me, is the other corner of that triangle, or the other side, depending on how you look at triangles. And I would love to see a Soul Sacrifice remastered, and hopefully, or a sequel someday in the future. I would really love to see that. So those are my big hopes for what we see at the PlayStation State of Play. I don't think we'll get any of those. Those are hopes. I guarantee you we're going to see something with Ghost of 𝙂𝙬 and Death Stranding 2, though, at the minimum. So hopefully we'll be getting some of that. I don't know. You guys probably aren't as excited because you don't play PlayStation quite as much as I do, but they do seem to be pushing a bit more into PC. So, I mean, do either of you two have any games that you'd like to see?